Hey, ladies and gents, it's Wiz here with the review of the Mythic Legion's Duban figure. And since this figure's caused a bit of a controversy, I've assembled a panel of experts. I've got my two sons here, and they're going to weigh in as to whether or not this figure is gray or blue or bluish gray, or what exactly it is. So I'm going to go first, because this has been a big controversy on the Cabal, online, people at each other's throats, people threatening to cancel their order because it's not the color that supposedly they thought it was going to be. I think it's awesome, but let's just talk color here. Open your peepers and take a long look. I think I see gray. Gray. Definitely gray. Slight, ever so slight, maybe a slight bluish tint, but definitely 100% I see gray. All right, so
it's gray.
Gray?
Yeah.
So you agree with me?
Mm-hmm.
Come back. You know your colors. So okay, so we have 2 votes for gray. What do you think?
Neon green.
Neon. Okay, so yeah, Who'd have thunk that the fruit of my loins would be a troll? No, I want a legit vote. What is it?
It's neon gray.
What is it?
Neon gray.
What do you see? He refuses. He refuses to participate. So, all right, Duban. I'm gonna read we get that out of the way. I'm gonna read the bio. Says, as one of the few non-Fey members of Xylonia's flock, Duban is something of a curiosity. This human ranger from the northern reaches of the kingdom spends his days traveling, oftentimes carrying messages from Xylonian guard units to other outposts or commanders in the flock. Having trained as a Takaho, or Hawkmaster, Duban is never without his loyal wing companion, Vedrfolgnir. Vedrfolgnir? I don't know how you say it. An inseparable pair, they provide key intelligence in their efforts to maintain peace in a realm slowly succumbing to the evils of war. So that there is Duban, and his faithful hawk companion, or something like that. So let's take another closer look at this guy. One thing that you will notice is that he's dark complected and he has piercing green eyes. And so I think this is adding some more much needed ethnic diversity to the line. I would say, if I were to guess, it seemed like he would be an East Indian fella with the beard and I've seen East Indians with dark skin and green eyes before. So that would be my guess. I'm not sure. I never kept up with the controversy on the color, but I'm not sure what that was all about. But the hawk is an interesting kind of otherworldly color as well, and I'm looking at him possibly having some tinges of green there. So, hey, there's Duban's head. I took it off. You can take a closer look at that. Obviously, I just put them together. So let me show you how you remove the hawk. The hawk is permanently attached to this arm gauntlet there. I guess you could probably take an X-Acto knife and separate him, but I wouldn't do that. I think he's just meant to be perched there. His wings are not articulated. His head does have a bit of articulation in that it turns left and right. But he doesn't look like any hawk that, any real world hawk in particular. And I'd say that's just because the slight greenish, if I'm seeing this right, maybe it's not even greenish. Who knows? But his coloring looks a little like a fantasy animal coloring. So, got the cape off here, so I'll show you that. What's really cool about this is that this is a really deluxe piece of soft goods. It's completely wired all the way through, so you can splay it out and have it in dynamic poses. There aren't any of these holes in the back of it, and it's basically, look at that nice stitching all the way around. It's a heavy kind of deluxe cloak or cape that can stand on its own, and it works really well with this hood, even though this hood is plastic and not soft goods. You also get a bunch of extra hands with these. I was surprised at the number of hands. Haven't taken these out of the thing, but you basically get a hand pack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra hands, open, splayed, you know, gesticulating, punching hands, just every variety of hands that you'd need. So that's a really cool extra value. This guy has so much bang for the buck. I'm going to put his hood on here, and so you can just see what his silhouette looks like without the cape. These pauldrons here, because those pauldrons are going to be covered up when you put his cape on. The cool thing about the cape, it gives him a real air of mystery and just adds to the coolness of the character. We get also a crossbow with no arrow, which is a little unusual, because I think usually there are arrows packed in, but not in this case, at least not in mine. The other thing that people have been raving about is the fact that the accessories now come in this sort of Ziploc bag. Not officially a Ziploc, but it's resealable, so that's kind of cool. He also comes with this dagger. Nothing particularly exciting about that. We've seen it before, but, you know, as like most Mythic Legions figures, he's sort of armed to the teeth. And he also has this sword and this sheath. So there's that sword. We've seen that many times before. And the sheath also not only has this little strap, so you can hang it from wherever you want to hang it on his belt, but you really have to be careful with this little plastic piece, because that's very easy to break off. I do know that from experience. I've broken a couple of those little guys. So I really like this new belt that he has here, that's cinched up here at the waist, and then it has these, not sheaths, but these dangling sheath holders. You could put your weapons in there on the side, and then that's a cool extra touch. We've got painted rivets there, a lot of good detail, and I think he would also, he's going to also make like a good conquistador figure, just because of the armor and how that is. So there's the cloak, how that fits, or the, I don't know what's the difference between a cloak and a cape, but, oops, but the neck pops right through there. And then you can have all kinds of fun configuring the cloak. So between, or cloak, cape, see, you can have it sort of blowing in the wind there, or just hanging down, adding an air of mystery to the figure. And just amazing work on the soft goods on this. This might be the best cape they've had on any figure that I've reviewed so far, as far as it's being able to hold a pose. The wires are really pliable, but then they're strong enough that you can for sure have them in whatever pose you decide to put them in. So a lot of bang for the buck, like I mentioned before on this figure. All the 6 extra hands, it's like having an extra hand pack, or a glove pack, I guess. And this guy, the animal companion with the articulated head and the weapons. These are the extra touches that this figure has that makes it an absolute home run in my book. So blue or gray or neon green, it doesn't really matter to me. What matters is that we have a very, very cool kind of East Indian looking character in Mythic Legions. Of course, there's probably no India in Mythic Legions, but in my mythos at least, he'll have that sort of ethnic diversity. So this came with the All Stars 5 pack, which is a bunch of other figures that were voted in to be reissues, but this was one of the new figures that came with that. I like the way they're mixing the All-Star packs with new figures and reissues at the same time, because that makes it a lot more exciting. The last one came with the PowerCon exclusives, which were the Masters of the Universe Classic homages, and then it also came with the reissue figures, and this guy, a new figure to add to Mythic Legions. All right, so is the Wiz signing out.